guys, and welcome back. So today's video is going to be a self-portrait slash new icon for myself, and this is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. I've wanted an icon that actually showed my human face and represented me personally a little bit more, so I'm really excited about that, about having a new icon. But I've also been really wanting to do a self-portrait for a while now. I've done a couple in my past, but not really a lot. But I've always loved doing it. There's just something really self-reflective, I guess, about them, where I find that when I have worked on them in the past, a lot of times I start thinking about who I am as a person, not just like my physical features that I'm trying to put down, but a lot of times it comes to a lot more of a deeper representation than that. A lot of times it comes down to me thinking about my personality traits and what kind of emotion I want to show in this piece and what kind of mood, and a lot of times that's very reflective of what I am feeling or what I wish to feel. And it's a really good exercise to try to draw yourself and see what kind of qualities you're trying to bring out in that piece. And I think it's a good way to see what things that I am actively trying to work on or that I should work on. For this one specifically, I tried to show myself as very enthusiastic and excited and positive and just very happy and a lot of energy, and that's something that I have been working really hard to feel that way. And I know that a lot of times your emotions, it's something that's not really as controllable, but I'm trying to make sure that I am feeling very motivated and excited about the actual work and the projects that I'm doing. So it was cool to kind of see how that is something that I'm starting to reflect and to see as myself, that I'm trying to see myself as an enthusiastic person, an excited person. But there's also a really amazing history of self-portraits and artists that do self-portraits. But yeah, you can study a lot of them, and it's really interesting because a lot of artists have used self-portraits as a way to display their style and the way that it has evolved over time. Because that's the thing, is that you're kind of working off of a subject matter that, although it changes with time, it is ultimately a relatively neutral subject matter. It is you, it's who you are as an artist, and then you can put your style on top of that. So I think it's just really cool. I've always loved looking at other artists' self-portraits. It's interesting to see what kind of features people like to bring out and what kind of style they show themselves in. So basically, I'm just trying to say that it's really fun to do self-portraits, and I highly suggest you guys do them. I have always enjoyed, when I have done the self-portraits, I've enjoyed it. A lot of times it comes down to I might be frustrated that a certain feature doesn't look quite right, but sometimes I just need to like loosen it up and then try to focus on the overall mood and the feeling that I'm getting from it, and that usually helps it put it back onto course. So one thing that I wanted to absolutely make sure that I was getting right on this is, because it was an icon, it needed to work on several different levels. The first one is that because it's an icon and I wanted to use it over across a lot of different websites and different platforms, some of them have circle formats for their icons and some have square ones like this that I'm working on. So I wanted to make sure that the composition of this worked well for both of those. And that was really important, since it's going to be very small in some instances, like really, really tiny. It needs to be able to read as well as possible, and having a good composition is integral to that. And also having good contrast as well is a big deal for icons, I've noticed. And I think for this, overall, I think that it was pretty successful. I think I probably could have lightened me up a little bit more so it contrasted with the background a little bit more. But overall, I think that reads pretty well, and I did want to absolutely make sure that I had a very kind of a clean background for my portrait to be on. I needed something that would not be distracting for my actual portrait, because if there was a lot going on and a lot of texture and brush strokes, it would be a lot harder to clearly see where I wanted people to look at, and it would get a lot more jumbled the smaller you got. So the cleaner the silhouette and the cleaner how I have the background, the better it's going to read smaller. So that was something that I was trying to think about, and there were a few composition elements that I thought about and sketched out at the beginning, like the little like leaves around me, but ultimately that was just kind of fighting against the overall look of what was contained inside of that. So I had a few design elements that I had to cut out, and ultimately I feel that having much more cleaner of an icon, not having any other decorative elements like that, will definitely help it read a lot better. And I absolutely loved coloring this one. It has been a little while since I've done kind of my core style, and that's something that's very line work heavy with relatively flat colors and then a little bit of blending and flat shadows. So this one was really exciting because I had done a lot more painterly stuff right before this. So then when I came back to the style that I know and I love and I merged it a little bit more with that, I was able to get a result that I feel like is way more alive than what my style used to be. I think that it used to be a lot more stale and stiff and lifeless, and in this one I was a lot more liberal with blending in different colors so that in the end the skin was a lot more multi-tonal, the hair had a lot more color happening to it. I found that I was able to add a lot more detail and different planes, and overall it was a lot more exciting because I found that I was a lot more freer than what I had put myself in this little box of what I was supposed to be able to draw and what I should be able to put into my style. So once I kind of broke out of that and experimented farther than what I'd ever tried and then came back to what I normally do, I was able to push it a lot more than what I had originally made myself do. So this was it was really exciting to see that it could be something that I am still very passionate and in love with, and that's a very line work heavy style, but I can push it way beyond what I normally have done. And I know that there's so much more that I could be doing, and that's the exciting thing, is that it feels like I can start to marry the two sides of what I'm interested in and go forward and find new ways to show it. And that is everything for this little icon. I loved working on it. It was a lot of fun, so I think I'll be doing more self-portraits in the future. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe and check out my shop, and I will see you at my next video. Bye!